I've been waiting, letting these stem cells kick in. I tore my UCL real bad my last fight, and just problems, tendonitis, those things. So I'm just letting the body really come back and heal up, taking some time off from everything, but staying on my game, and I'm starting to feel it. Everything's starting to come around. These stem cells are starting to work. I'm ready to start cracking.
How can you let Mike Perry wipe that booger on that beautiful jacket of yours? The Schmo, look back at the game film a few months back. You allowed him to wipe that booger on you.
If it was real booger, we would have a problem. But, Mike Perry is going to be Mike Perry. And hey, come here. We got Lucy. We got UPS. Gotta watch my.
We got UPS coming.
Sure, Mike Church covers that.
All right.
Yeah.
Stay tuned in a few moments. Luke Rockhold has to get the UPS. This interview's not going anywhere. This is the Schmo with the pro, with the former Strikeforce middleweight champion, the former UFC middleweight champion, the male model, Luke Rockhold in the flesh, inside your home, Santa Monica, California. How we doing?
We're living, getting healthy, letting these stem cells kick in and just letting the body come back. And then I'm going to hunt down somebody pretty soon. Someone's going to be on the hit list.
So no fight on the horizon for you, because the Schmo just saw Jake Paul announce a fight December 15th. We don't know who the opponent is yet.
Yeah, Jake Paul, I don't think he's going to fight anybody his own size, so I'm not going to hold my breath. But someone down the line, you never know, KSI likes to fight bigger guys. Maybe he wants to step up and fight a real man. There's a few guys out there. But boxing is like what I'm more into. This bare knuckle boxing thing wasn't exactly my idea, but I'm one to jump on an opportunity. And I thought it was interesting. So we did it, got that out of the way. Now it's time to do back to what I really wanted to do, which was actually box.
So it's safe to say the next time we see Luke Rockhold compete, we'll be inside a boxing ring with standard size boxing gloves.
I'm thinking gloves. Gloves are nice. Definitely no gloves. It was an interesting experience, but I'm ready to box.
And you want to do business with these misfits guys, get involved with this influencer boxing?
I like to shut down the influencers. That sounds nice. That sounds more interesting. I don't see anybody who can beat me in that organization.
Nobody.
I don't see one person. Not one influencer will ever beat me in boxing. I can promise you that. Not one fucking influencer can hold my nuts.
Not a single one. There it is. What do you make of Paulo Costa not competing here for UFC 294? He had that staph infection. Last time we saw him compete was actually against you inside the UFC octagon.
Yeah, he canceled 2 fights of ours. We were supposed to fight in Vegas for International Fight Week. He postponed that to Dallas. And he canceled that again for these little surgeries of things. I don't know. That's what I've been hearing. And the guy's, he's questionable.
So who do you think makes sense for this man when he competes again in the octagon? Because it's supposed to be Khamzat Chimaev. It's not him anymore, obviously.
I could care less. Honestly, I could care less.
What do you make of Sean Strickland is the current UFC middleweight champion? As someone who's held the belt in that organization like you have, what do you make of him as the champion?
I don't make anything of Sean Strickland. I think it's the current state of the world these days. When you have champions like Sean Strickland, it just shows how down the drain we're going.
You think he's going to be able to maintain being the champion, or you think he's going to lose it next time he defends the belt?
I think it depends on who he fights, for sure.
And do you think it's in this UFC 294 that winner is the most deserving of fighting him next, or you think it's Adesanya for the rematch? Who's most deserving to fight for the middleweight title?
Me. I don't see anybody out there really. I mean, I think Israel's done. I think he's checked out. I think he kind of did his thing with his last fight against Pereira, and he didn't really want to come fight. He wasn't there to fight Sean Strickland. He was just there to, go through the motions, and it showed. You gotta be present in the game, and you can't take people for granted. Trust me, I know from experience.
John Jones, Stipe Miocic, two legends of the game. They're competing. Big pay-per-view, Madison Square Garden. Do you think this is the end for both those two?
I think it is not the end for John. I think it's the end for Stipe, win or lose for sure. It's an interesting matchup, though. There'll be a guy that can wrestle, a guy that can strike. He's a little past his prime, but it's going to pose a real threat for John. John's not going to be able to walk through him and out-wrestle him. He's going to have to strike with him. He's going to have to outsmart him. But, John's a tactical guy, and so it'll be a real test to see how he does at heavyweight.
And then John Jones, do you believe he continues on? What do you think would be next for that man? What would he have left to prove? Do you think he's going to take on one of these young up-and-coming guys like a Tom Aspinall, like a Sergey Pavlovich, or what do you think he would be doing next?
I think it depends on who he fights for sure, but, there's what is it, $10 million paychecks? The man's getting paid right now, and so to fight these guys that he seemingly should walk through, I think he should definitely take it. I think Francis Ngannou is the only real threat.
And speaking of paydays, what's the deal with Chito Vera, your buddy? Is he getting that title shot against Sugar Sean O'Malley at the beginning of the year? Is that what's going to happen next?
I don't know, man. I don't see anything else, other options that look good for the UFC. So I think him and Chito sounds like a nice little treat for the people.
You think Chito holds something inside Sugar Sean O'Malley's head, being the first person and the only person to stop him inside the cage?
I think it's got to weigh on him for sure. There's not really a point in that fight where Chito showed weakness. He kind of took it to him in every way, and Sean's got to know that in the back of his head. So I think Chito put that elbow on his head, knocked him out, and took his legs out. There was not one point where Chito didn't dominate.
Well, the Schmo knows he just celebrated a big birthday. We apologize for you getting your car jacked, but we got something instead for you right here. The Schmo was here in Southern California. We went shopping. We know you have a very, very fond appreciation for this brand, Polo Ralph Lauren, and we figured you can use an extra pair of, little briefs right there.
Briefs, yeah. I prefer the tighties, but hey, we can have some ballroom in these things.
Quick access, right?
Easy access.
Easy access. We know what it's like being a bachelor, or the Schmo at least can pretend like we're living in your shoes.
I don't know what you're talking about.
What else is new with you, Luke?
We're working on quite a few little businesses right now, and they're coming along. So we'll keep quiet until we launch. Getting healthy. Like I said, I'd like to get back in the game and box like I originally planned to do. So we're working on it. Working on getting healthy, man. I like I said, I tore my UCL, got bad tendonitis, I had a bad shoulder tear. So a lot of things I just really needed to come back together and heal up and trying to avoid surgery. So right now I feel like I'm finally getting there, and I'm finally getting to that point where I'm ready to start getting back in there and kind of finish things the way I want to.
That's what we like to hear, a legend of the sport. Final message for the Luke Rockhold fans out there worldwide.
Just hold tight, baby. Hold tight. Stay right. Let's go have some fun. I'm going to go fuck some shit up.
He's the pro. I'm the Schmo. We're out.